Hi friends, this is CMA Deepika Bhugra Prasad, Insolvency Professional. The code IBC 2016 has now crossed many milestones and is now established. And it has been instrumental in reweaving the corporate fabric in our country. The jurisprudence, however, continues to evolve and is every day clarifying all kinds of doubts. So, friends, I welcome you to Insolvency Insights, a snippet series curated by me to delve into important judicial pronouncements under the Code IBC 2016 and to navigate through the intricacies of its proceedings. So, let us, friends, today discuss an important case. So, this is the case of Vishnu Mittal versus Shakti Trading Company, which was decided on the 17th of March 2025 by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Now, what were the issues in this case before the Honorable Court? If the cause of action under Section 138 of the Negotiable Instruments Act arises after the imposition of moratorium under Section 14 of the IBC, whether the proceedings under Section 138 can be initiated against the director or the natural person if the check was dishonored before the moratorium was imposed. And when exactly the cause of action arises to invoke Section 138 of the NI Act in light of the imposition of the moratorium. So let us see the factual metrics of this case. The appellant was the director of Mrs. Xalta Food and Beverages Private Limited, which is the corporate debtor. There was a contract between the corporate debtor and the respondent. The appellant, in his capacity as the director of the corporate debtor, had drawn 11 checks in favor of the respondent, that is Mrs. Shakti Trading Company, of varying amounts, totaling to approximately 11,17,000. These checks were dishonored on 7th of July 2018. Meanwhile, on 25th of July 2018, insolvency proceedings against the CD commenced and a moratorium under Section 14 of the IBC was imposed. On 6th of August 2018, a legal notice under Section 138 of the NI Instruments Act 1881 was issued to the appellant by the respondent as the check amounts were not furnished to the respondent by the banks. In September 2018, a complaint was filed before the appropriate court by the respondent against the appellant for offences under Section 138 of the NI Act. Now, by order dated 7th of September 2018, the court had issued summons to the appellant in the proceedings initiated by the respondent against the appellant under Section 138 of the NI Act. Now, aggrieved, the appellant approached the High Court under Section 482 of the CRPC, challenging the summoning order and further prayed for the quashing of the Section 138 NI Act case against him in view of the moratorium issued under Section 14 of the IBC. By the impugned order dated 21st of December 2021, the High Court all the same dismissed the appellant's petition and declined to quash the complaint against him. Now let us see what was the case of the appellant. Although the checks were drawn and dishonored prior to date of moratorium imposed on 25th of July 2018, however, the notice under Section 138 of the NI Act was given on 6th of August 2018, that is post 25th of July 2018. Hence, the cause of action for offence under Section 138 of the NI Act would commence after a period of 15 days calculated from 6th of August 2018, and it would be 21st of August 2018. But by this time, moratorium had already been imposed on 25th of July 2018. The Honorable High Court, while dismissing the appellant's petition, relied upon the judgment of this court in P. Mohan Raj versus Messrs. Shah Brothers Ispat Private Limited, where it was held that the immunity granted by the moratorium order issued under Section 14 of the IBC can only be obtained by a corporate debtor and not by a natural person as the present appellant, who was the director of the corporate debtor. Now let us see what was the decision of the Honorable Supreme Court. First, it was exceptional of P. Mohan Raj judgment. The Honorable Supreme Court held that the High Court erred in relying on P. Mohan Raj versus Shah Brothers Ispat Private Limited, since the facts of that case were completely different and the present case is thus distinguishable from it. In that case, the cause of action under Section 138 of the NI Act arose before the imposition of the moratorium. And on these facts, this court had held that Section 14 of IBC bars or stays proceedings only against the corporate debtor, and proceedings can be continued or initiated against the natural persons. The case at hand is totally different from P. Mohan Raj, as the cause of action in the present case arose after the commencement of the insolvency process. And in that case, the cause of action under Section 138 of the NI Act arose before the imposition of the moratorium. Now, another issue was the cause of action under Section 138 of the NI Act. The Honorable SC referred to the conditions for invoking Section 138 of the NI Act, which are as under. The payee or the holder in due course of the check, as the case may be, makes a demand for the payment of the said amount of money by giving a notice in writing to the drawer of the check within 30 days of the receipt of the information by him from the bank regarding the return of the check as unpaid. And the drawer of such check fails to make the payment of the said amount of money to the payee, or as the case may be, to the holder in due course of the check within 15 days of the receipt of the said notice. The return of the checks dishonored, simpliciter, does not create an offense under Section 138 of the NI Act. Clause C of the proviso to Section 138 of the NI Act makes it clear that cause of action arises only when the demand notice is served and payment is not made pursuant to such demand notice within the stipulated 15-day period. Further, the text dishonored after imposition of moratorium under Section 17 of IBC. In the present case, on 25th of July 2018, the moratorium was imposed and management of the corporate debtor was taken over by the IRP team as per Section 17 of the IBC. The bare reading of Section 17 of IBC shows that the appellant did not have the capacity to fulfill the demand raised by the respondent by way of the notice issued under Clause C of proviso to Section 138 of the NI Act. When the notice was issued to the appellant, he was not in charge of the corporate debtor as soon as the IRP was appointed on 25th of July 2018. Therefore, the powers vested with the Board of Directors were to be exercised by the IRP in accordance with the provisions of IBC. All the bank accounts of the corporate debtor were operating under the instructions of the IRP. Hence, it was not possible for the appellant to repay the amount in light of Section 17 of the IBC. Additionally, after the imposition of the moratorium, the IRP had made a public announcement inviting the claims from the creditors of the CD, and the respondent has filed a claim with the IRP. So, friends, we conclude that keeping in mind the above observations and distinguishing facts and circumstances of this case from that of P. Mohan Raj, the Honorable Supreme Court is of the considered view that the High Court ought to have quashed the case against the appellant by exercising its power under Section 482 of the CRPC. Therefore, the Honorable Supreme Court allowed this appeal by setting aside the impugned order dated 21st of December 2021 and quashing the summoning order dated 7th of September 2018. Further, it quashed the complaint pending before the Chief Judicial Magistrate Court, Chandigarh, filed by the respondent against the appellant. So, friends, we see that even after clearing so many milestones of the IBC, there are issues which are emerging every day, and the jurisprudence which is being established by our courts on a continuous basis, thus helping the entire industry and the country to have clarity. So, friends, I trust that you find this both interesting as well as enlightening. So, for further insights into such judicial pronouncements under the Act IBC 2016, please subscribe to my channel and please like this video. So thank you, friends, for being with me here today. This is Deepika B. Prasad signing off, and we'll catch you in the next case. Thank you.